So by now you know all the key components to actually building your listing on Amazon. The importance of the title, the importance of the images, the importance of the keywords and the bullet points and the description and the back end. So I just want to take a quick moment in this module to just do a quick walkthrough of actually how you would actually build your listing on Amazon. Now you can build your listing at any time, and I recommend you actually be doing this while you're waiting for your product to be manufactured and shipped. Go ahead and get as much of this done as you can and have it ready to go so that when your product does arrive, you're off to the races and not having to scramble to figure all this stuff out. So what I like to do is use the Helium 10 suite of tools, and I use Scribbles, this listing optimizer tool. This is one of the very first tools that Manny built when he started Helium 10. He was doing it for his own purposes to help him build his listing. And it's become just a really go-to tool and a really great tool to use. So what I've done here is I've pasted in, I wrote my title out. You could type it right in here, but what I've done, I like to keep an offline version. So I keep a version like in a Microsoft Word document. And so I've written out my title there. I got my bullet points. I've just pasted them in here. And you can see how it actually shows you here like 112 or 200 bytes have been used, or 122 characters, 23 words. It will show you all this. You can modify these links by clicking on this edit button. The same thing here for my bullet points. Depending on your category, your bullet points, some are 50, some are 80, some are 200. Amazon in some categories enforces it, and other categories they don't. I typically put mine around 200 to 250 unless I'm in a category that's very, very strict, and then you have to cut it down. So I have all 5 of my bullet points. I've pasted them in here. As you can see, I've pasted in my description, and my description is using HTML. So you can see here that out of the 2,000 bytes in the description, I'm using 1763, and I have HTML. So these BRs, I'm using those. Those are line breaks. So that way my text is not just one big blob of text. It actually puts like a space between the lines, almost kind of like a paragraph. I'm using the B tag here, saying I want to bold this part and stop bolding right here. We talk about this, and there's some handouts and other modules that will go over which tags are okay. Amazon allows you to use a few HTML tags, but they won't allow you to use the whole gamut of HTML tags. There's a handful that are okay, but a lot of them aren't. But like line breaks and paragraph breaks and bolding and italic are generally okay. And so you can see here I have my description. I don't have my search terms filled in yet, and I don't have my subject matters filled in yet. I just entered one phrase over here, bully sticks, but what I've done is I've done my research on all my keywords. So I'm just going to go grab my keywords here. This is my list of keywords that I'm going to be targeting. I've assembled this list from all my research that I've been looking at the competitors and everything else that we've taught in the modules here. So I'm just going to paste this entire list into the phrases right here, and hit apply. You could choose the market you're in if you want to pull this down. There's different marketplaces, but I'm in this course is for Amazon US, so I'm going to go ahead and hit apply. And you notice here it automatically figured out that I've got 24 different words. And each time here it's showing me how many times I've used the words, and it's putting a line through the ones that I've used in my descriptions over here. And the same thing for the phrases. It's showing me which ones I've used and which ones I haven't. So when I wrote my bullet points, I can then very easily come over here and say, look, I didn't, braided bully sticks is one of my keywords I want to go after, but I don't have that in phrase order anywhere in my listing. So I might want to get that in phrase order. Or if you look at the words up here, I'm using most of these words. They all have lines through them, except for it looks like odor doesn't, grass doesn't, fed doesn't, and stick doesn't. So what I might do in that case is I might see if there's a place that makes sense. I'm not just going to stuff this for the sake of stuffing it, but like I might see if there's a place where it makes sense to try to get those words in there. That way I get indexed for them on Amazon. So let me see if there's a place here. These ultra premium free range bully sticks. Maybe right here I could put grass fed. And see, as I type in grass fed there, as soon as I click on that, now it's got grass has got a line through it and fed's got a line through it, and I used it one time. So this way I can go through here. I haven't used the word stick or the word odor yet. So let me make sure I'm using the word stick and the word odor. See, I have sticks with an S, and Amazon will tell you that they account for that, but I like to actually put both just in case. So I need to try to get the word stick in here somewhere. For hours and won't stink up his breath. Let's see. So there's a place that might make sense to get the word stick. No mess and taste smells on your hands or in your home when you serve these ultra premium odorous bullies. Bully sticks, hand washed and hand. So what I could maybe do, bully sticks, I could maybe put a comma there and say each stick is hand washed and hand trimmed. Now I got the word stick in there, and you see stick has got a cross through it. So you can see how this can really help you make sure your listing has got everything that you need in it. Now you look at the phrases here. I haven't used the word braided bully sticks yet. I haven't used dog chew sticks in phrase order. And maybe it doesn't. If I can get them in here in phrase order, that's great, and I will go try to do that. If I cannot get them in phrase order, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the subject matter fields. In some cases, you may have 3 of these. In some cases, you may have 5. It depends on your account and the categories you're selling in. There's a number of factors. I think some European accounts don't even have subject matter. But if you have access to subject matter, I think this is one of the most important ranking features on Amazon. So what I like to do here is I like to put my best phrases in here. So each one of these can have up to 50 bytes or 50 characters. So what I'm going to do is start taking my phrases and my best ones. So if I want, maybe I'm just going to, I can edit the list and just go here and I'm going to repeat words. So I'm just going to put them in here. Now this one's already over, so this is too many. I don't use commas. Notice you can use commas if you want. It doesn't really matter, but those just take up valuable space, so I don't like to use commas. So I can get, that's 38, so I can put this one, now we're at 32. Let's see if we can get bully chews. We got bully chews. See if there's something, bully treats. Bully treats might fit here, bully treats. Now notice I'm repeating. Now you're going to get different schools of thought on this. Some people say you don't need to repeat. Amazon says you don't need to repeat. I've just found for me and my personal preference, I'm not saying this is the gospel, but my personal preference is when I'm doing the subject matters, I put in phrase order, and I will repeat. So see the word bully and bully, but sometimes you can actually get 2 for 1 if you get creative here. Like here, it's 6-inch bully sticks. I have bully sticks right here. So I could put 6-inch in front, and now I'm still at 45. I'm under the 50. And now I've accomplished bully sticks, 6-inch bully sticks, and so on. Now I don't know why I repeated bully sticks. Let's see, bully sticks, bully. Yeah, that's why I repeated it. I was like, did I make a mistake here? But no, that's something people are typing. So I have that weird phrase right there. And so I would repeat this process all the way down for all these subject matter. I'm not going to go through the whole thing. And then what, on the search terms, if I have anything in my search terms, in my list, let me go back to my words list. If I have anything in this list right here that I haven't used, so here you see copy unused, so I could just, but you can, unused words have been copied, and just, I will paste that, say I didn't use the word odor in here, so maybe you have a big long list here and some just don't make sense. Fill in your search terms first with those. And then if you still have space, in your search term, remember you don't want to go over a certain length or you'll get penalized. 250 bytes. It's not characters, it's bytes. So I still have plenty of space. So then what I'll start doing is I'll either start putting in maybe Spanish keywords here, or if I still have space, I'll go ahead and just grab even these used ones and just go ahead and paste them in here. Even though I use them in the rest of the listing, it's no point in leaving it blank. Even though you have it somewhere else, there's just no point in leaving it blank. And I still have 250 minus 165, so I still have like 85 left. 85 left. So I might go out and see if I could find, I think perro is, in Spanish is dog. My autocorrect is fixing it. And then I might look at, treats and beef. Carne is beef, for example, and just start filling it in. Now you notice here I put commas. That's just because I did a cut and paste. So just to save space, I might go in here and delete those out. So to save space. But you get the idea here. So this is how you use Scribbles. It can be a very, very, very cool tool. If you already have your listing on Amazon, you can actually import it here into Scribbles too. So it will go and grab your listing and pull everything it can. It can't pull some of the back-end keywords like subject matter. It can't pull those, or the search term fields. But it can automatically pull in your bullet points and your title, so you don't have to repaste them. So that's one of the features that you can use on Scribble. So now you can save this in Helium 10 too. Now, I'd still like to save it offline as well, just in case something. I like to have it on my hard drive on a Word document. This is where you would import it, and this is where you can actually export it. So once you get this all set up, maybe you just want to export this as a text file, and that's what you're going to save on your own local computer, just so that you have it in case something just really goes bad, or maybe you make some changes in the future, and you're like, man, I need to go back to the version I had 3 weeks ago. You have that. So once you've got this all dialed in, it's time to actually go over to Seller Central, and let's create the listing. So if I'm going to log into my Seller Central account here, and I'm going to go under Catalog, and I'm going to add products. Now remember, you can do this before your product's even in stock. And so down here, you're going to add the new product. You can, I have an UPC for this, but you can do any of these, a product name, UPC, however you're doing it. But I have a UPC code. Let me grab it real quick. This is my UPC code. So I'm going to paste in this UPC code. It's my UPC code for this product. It says we couldn't find anything. That's great, because I hope it's not on Amazon. So if it's not in Amazon's catalog, I'm going to create a new product listing. And then I'm going to choose the category. Now I've done my, now one way you can do the categories, you can scroll through here and try to find the one. If I want to go to pets, for example, pet supplies, this is for dogs, and I can just keep scrolling down here. But another way is Amazon will make suggestions for you. Bully sticks, find category, and they're going to say these are the 4 most common categories. Now I would check this against Amazon and some of the top sellers and see if they're in some other category besides this, and you might want to consider that. But for our cases right here, I'm just going to go with this. Bully sticks has its own category. So remember, you can only put into one category. Amazon sometimes will add you to other categories, but that's something at their discretion that the software does. You can't actually get into multiple categories. So you want to pick the one category that's going to be best. And if you choose the wrong category, it could hurt you because you might not be relevant. And by relevant, I mean Amazon has keywords that they will show based on the category you're in, because they don't want irrelevant things to be showing up just because someone stuck it in some other category trying to game the system. So if you're in the wrong category, it could hurt your PPC, it could hurt your indexing. So it's important to see what the competition's doing and try to pick one of the categories that a lot of the best sellers are in. And the only time you might want to go in another category is if you think you can go after a bestseller badge and gain that, and that can give you a competitive advantage. But that's a little bit more advanced topic that we won't cover right here. So I'm going to put this in Bully Sticks. And right here, you're going to have the product ID. So I have my UPC code. So I'm going to pull this down to UPC. If you have one of the others, you could do that. My product name, I have my Scribbles right here. This is my title. The product name is my title. So I'm going to put the title right there. You can change this later. So don't worry if you don't have the exact title. You can even put a placeholder there now if you haven't done your research. My brand name is, we'll just call this Kevin's Dog Treats. The manufacturer, we'll just call this, I'm just making this up right now, but this would be Whatever Puppies Are Us. I'm just making this up. Now you see I can't save it yet because I don't have everything finished. There's still something up here. You can go into the advanced view if you want. We'll go to that in just a second. If you have variations of this, maybe you have a small and a large, you can choose the theme here. So if I have, maybe I have different flavors. But in my case, it's more of it's a size. I have a variation based on size because I have a small and a large. And so I'm gonna say it's right here. And if I had variations, I could just type in a name, 12-inch bullies or whatever. Oops, I can't spell. And here I can put, say I had 6-inch bullies, whatever you want to call it. So you can put the variations and you hit Add Variations. And if you add variations, and then down here, you would have a SKU for each one, a product ID. So this is where I would need a UPC for each variation. So I would have one, oops, you know, whatever I'm just making it up right now, but whatever the UPC is there, whatever the UPC is here, you're going to say the condition. Hopefully, if you're still on private label, it's new, and you'll put your price and the quantity. The quantity, even if Amazon's going to fulfill it, sometimes they'll let you leave this blank. Other times you got to put like a 1 in there. You can always change that later, so don't worry about that. You don't have to put I have 1,000 because you're going to change it to fulfilled by Amazon at some point anyway. So when you ship in, so don't worry about that. But that's how you would do a variation. Now I'm going to back off of this because I'm actually not going to do a variation. Okay, so I'm going to cancel out of this because I don't want to actually have any variations. I just want to show you an example here. So back on my vital info, one important thing I want to make sure is if this brand name, this needs to be, if you filed for a trademark or you already have a trademark, this needs a dead-on match, whatever that brand name is for your trademark. The manufacturer oftentimes is your company name, or maybe you have a different brand as a manufacturer. This is not your Chinese factory or anything like this. Is the manufacturer of the product. Now the next thing I'm going to do is go over to the offer. You're going to enter your price, and you can change this later. So let's just say I'm going to sell these for $49.95. You can enter a SKU here if you want. Maybe you already have an internal naming system that you use. You sell on Shopify, or you sell somewhere else. You could put a SKU in here. Maybe it's your part number or something like that. If you leave it blank, Amazon will assign something. So I'm just going to go ahead and leave it blank for now. The condition of this product is new. Hopefully, you're selling new products. This here, you're going to let Amazon ship it. This is FBA. Or if you're doing merchant fulfill, you would click on this. I'll ship this item myself, but I'm going to let Amazon do it. You see, this is still, I can't finish because I'm still missing some information. Here are my images. And so you see, I recommend you fill all these spots. This energy guide label, you can put an energy guide there if it's relevant, but I still fill it with an image. Most times, people are only going to see the first one, these 5, and they're going to see the first 7, basically, images. But I fill up everything. Even if I put something here like weakest image, I don't care if it doesn't show or not. I'll go ahead and throw it there a lot of times. But so I'm going to load my images. I have my Amazon images here. I already have numbered them because I've already decided, like I looked offline, these are how I want to post them and order. Now, some people will say you should put keywords here as the names, or it doesn't really matter. Amazon strips that out. Calling these by keywords is not going to matter. So this is going to be my main image, so I'm going to choose it. I'm just going to upload it. And remember, you want these to be large images. You see I have 2550 by 3300. Amazon has you want at least 1,000 so that people can blow it up, but I like to go bigger just to give it that extra resolution for people that have big monitors or nice monitors. It's nice and crisp when Amazon actually reduces the size of it to show it. So I'm just going to load my images. And the order of your images is important. So make sure it either kind of tells a story or it makes sense. It's kind of taking the user down a path. The first ones are the most important. And as you get deeper down, they're more the ones that are just like, okay, if you're still on the fence, these are the ones to help seal the deal. And you can see I got some cartoons there. Image number 8, and then image number 9. So even though I filled up these 8 and 9 spot, even though they may not show unless someone's clicking through to see all the images in the scroll through method. But so these 2 are my least important. This one, if I don't have an energy label, it doesn't apply here. Sometimes I'll fill this in. Other times I'll just, like right now, I'm just going to leave it blank. So these are my images. You can always change these later. So I've got my images. Amazon has some rules right here of how they're supposed to be. Now, my description still has a box on it. So this is my product description right here. So if I go back to Scribbles, I go down to my product description. I can just hit the copy and come back over here and just paste in my description. And so now I got my description in there. So here it's saying my product ID, my UPC code is invalid. It's because I'm missing a digit. So it'll actually tell you. Now, you probably won't have to do this if you're dealing with, if you're buying straight from GS1 and some of those, they'll actually give you what's called a check digit. But in my particular case, I have a program called Barcode Producer because I own my own UPCs. And so I can come here and create all these different kinds of codes. I'm on the Mac, so if I paste in that UPC, you see how it adds a check digit to the end, this 2 here. You don't need to really worry about this unless you own your own from the old days, but in my particular case, this is why it's not working. Usually you'll have that check digit there, but my program will put that in, so if I put that 2 there, it should, you can say here, you can see here now what's just happened is my UPC, this is what, I just grabbed this as a makeup. This has been used by somebody else. So this is what happens if you grab it UPCs off of, say, eBay or Speedy Barcodes or some of these other websites that sell them really cheap. You may have had someone else that's already been using your UPC on Amazon. So this can be a huge problem right here. So you're going to want to make sure that your UPCs are actually unique, and that's why I really recommend you go to GS1. So now I've changed my UPC so that I don't have that problem where it's conflicted. I just want to show you that example where you could run into something like that where it can conflict. Now there's more to this, you want to make sure you fill in. So I'm going to click on this advanced view. And if you have colors, or if you have a color map, or if you have sizes or size map, a lot of times this is more for variations. But sometimes it could apply. Compliance is if you need to specify any kind of compliance stuff, any kind of, if it's got an expiration date, you want to take a look at this. If it's got batteries, the type of batteries, that kind of thing. You know, if you're selling something that is a flashlight for dogs or for walking your dog or something like that. Any kind of safety information that you may have, you would fill that in down here. If it's Proposition 65 chemical names, you'd fill that in. Your keywords right here. This is where you're going to enter your search terms and your subject matters. Now you can see here in this particular one, I don't have the option to enter 5. I only have the option to enter 1 in subject matter. So what they're saying is please refer to the Browse Tree Guide. So you could actually go download the Browse Tree Guide for this category and see what the keywords are there. That's a little bit more advanced topic that we teach in Helium 10 Elite. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back to Scribbles, and I'm going to take my subject matter, since I only have 1. I'm going to copy whichever one is my top keywords. There may only be 3 or 4 keywords. I'm just going to paste them in there. If you don't go by this stuff right here, this is just kind of like a default. If you know how to use the Browse Tree Guide, that's a little bit more advanced. I'm not going to cover that here. Your search terms, this is where you're going to come over to Scribbles, and you're going to copy your search terms right here. Copy. I'm going to paste the search terms right here. Your target audience, this is also where you can get this information for who the product is intended. You can get this out of the Browse Tree Guide as well. Other attributes can also be found in the Browse Tree Guide. And Platinum Keywords is only for people who you will know if you have access to this. So don't worry about that. If in some cases subject matter, you will actually have a little add more like this, where you can make sure you add more if your subject matter depends on the category. If it allows you to do that, remember your search terms is just 1 full line, commas or no commas. I usually don't use commas. I just grab it from Helium 10 and do that. So you want to fill in as much of this as you can. Intended use. This can also be found in the Browse Tree Guide. To find the Browse Tree Guide, if you want to do that, you would go to, just probably the fastest way is to go to Amazon, search Amazon Seller Central Browse Tree Guide Pets category. And in there you can find the bully sticks, and you can actually see some of this stuff. It's a little bit like reading a puzzle sometimes in there, so that's why we don't really cover it here. If you get this stuff in here, this basics that I've talked to you about, you're okay. If you have more details, you want to check over here on the more details and see if you can fill in any of this kind of stuff. Any of this stuff that applies to you. Don't just skip over this and leave it blank. If anything applies to you, put it in here. And sometimes, some of this is like for fish tanks and other things that it doesn't apply. But if you go through here and you can find anything that if it's like my dog, these dog trees, a specific breed, put it in here. A package point, if there's 30 in it. You choose a launch date and a release date. You can enter that, your manufacturer part number, any other features, any special instructions, the ingredients. I would probably go ahead, if it's a treat or edible, I'd list the ingredients or nutrition facts. So any of this stuff that you can fill in, fill in. If you were selling pet blankets, put in the fabric type, for example. Any of this that you can fill in because it's just more ways for people to filter on Amazon. If you're not sure what to put here, you can actually go look at listings on Amazon, and over on the left-hand side, there's some filters where people can filter down. Take a look at what those are, and you could use some of that stuff here. Country of origin, for my case, I put USA or United States. This max ship quantity, this is something to keep people from wiping you out. This is a pretty important one. I like to put it at 2. Now, in some cases, people may be ordering 3 or 5 or 10. If that's a common number that they're ordering, raise this number up. But if you leave this blank and you're running a promotion, this is a very important point. Pay attention here. If you leave this blank and you say you're running some Facebook ads or you're doing some sort of launch and you're giving everybody, say, an 80% discount on your product, people can come in here and wipe you out. They can come in here and buy 50 or 100 or 200 of your products, all at that heavy discount, and completely wipe you out and really make you have a really bad day. So in my case, most of my stuff, I've noticed people don't buy more than 2. You could make this maybe 5 or 10 just to be on the safe side, but put something here that's a low number that's reasonable, and that'll prevent people from being able to add too many of them to your cart, especially when you're running special deals. Here you can put your dimensions of your packaging. This is the item, so this is your actual items. You put the dimensions here. You can choose inches or centimeters or whatever. This is inside the package, so this is actually inside the boxing. So whatever packaging is, so this is the actual item. So my treats might be 2 inches by 12 inches by an inch high. But the package they go in actually gets a little bit of padding. It's more like it's an inch bigger on each side, so you can put that in there. So you want to put as much of this stuff as you can. Once you've got all this complete, I'm not completing it all here because I don't want to actually make this a live product. Once you got everything complete, this yellow button right here will actually turn on, and you can hit save and finish. And once you've done that, you can always come back and edit this. You can go into your Seller Central, and you could actually you can go in and edit the products and come back and change the price, update the images, and so on. So this is just some of the basics of how to set up your basic listing on Amazon. And I hope this has helped you out and at least getting you going in the right direction. And I look forward to seeing you in the next one.